Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama, the spiritual and temporal leader of Tibet, is currently living in exile at the Namgyal Monastery in Dharamsala, India. Since the Chinese occupation of Tibet in 1959, 1.5 million Tibetans have been murdered at the hands of their Chinese oppressors. It continues today. In December 1989, the Dalai Lama received the Nobel Peace Prize for his 5-point peace plan. The 5-point peace plan is a non-violent plan of action to achieve certain goals. These goals include the return of Tibetans to their homeland with religious freedoms and basic human rights, an end to nuclear testing and dumping, and the end of massive deforestation in Tibet. An important part of the Dalai Lama's 5-point peace plan is for the world ultimately to view Tibet as a spiritual oasis for people of all countries and religions. As a symbol of his commitment to one world vision, the Dalai Lama gave the money awarded him with the Nobel Peace Prize to the people of South Africa to assist in their battle against apartheid. In March 1990, I traveled to Dharamsala, India, to attend the first International Contact Conference for Tibet supporters. Approximately 300 supporters from around the world gathered to learn more and to develop strategies for making the world aware of the continuing human rights violations occurring in Tibet. On March 11th, I was welcomed into the personal residence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, where the following interview took place. Your Holiness, it has been said that on a spiritual level, your being forced into exile created an opportunity to bring your message of peace, nonviolence, and social responsibility to the rest of the world. How do you feel about this thought?
Because we become refugee and remain as a refugee now last 31 years. This one way should give us new opportunity. So I personally said that during this period, I learned many things. Due to meeting with different people from different cultural background, different religion, different system, different nationality. So very, very useful. And then, as a Buddhist monk, and also is a human being, one human being who genuinely concerned about the welfare or happiness of humanity. So whenever I find opportunity, is it to express the importance of compassion, kindness, forgiveness, and these things I believe the basis of, human community. And also, the day-to-day life, the mental stability, mental calmness, very much is based on these, usually I call human quality. And also, the happier and more harmonious future of humanity, very much, based on these quality. So, I always is trying to explain how much effect I don't know. But I believe, that is my own responsibility to contribute as much as I can, as another one, as a human citizen on this planet. Because I believe each human being has a responsibility of entire humanity. If humanity as a whole is to find some happy state, we will get benefit. And also, world itself becoming smaller and smaller. So very much related one another. So under such circumstances, we need, I usually call, genuine sense of universal responsibility. And also, you see, we are facing, you see, new, I think it's a new situation, the environment problem, and what called a ozone layer. I say these things, and also its modern economic structure, I say beyond national boundaries. So it is something, it's a global thing. Therefore, under such circumstances, I think we need the sense of universal responsibility.
Prior to being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, what do you feel contributed to your worldwide popularity?
I don't know.
Charm, charisma?
Yes, I think some contribution from my smile, I think. And my laugh.
Yes, I think that's true as well. In the U.S., we have separation of church and state. However, in your government, you are the temporal and the spiritual leader. What are the pros and cons, do you think, of your particular form of government?
Usually I make the distinction, as I say, institution, religious institution, and then the personal belief. I think the working in political field with religious belief, or religious, I would say, as a religious person, something I think something good. So generally speaking, you see, people who have some kind of, you see, faith, some kind of, you see, practice, then suppose, you see, these people, because of, you see, their practice and their faith, you see, they have some kind of moral principle. So with that involved in politics or temporal field, I think it's good, because then these people may not indulge some, you see, wrong way. Sorry, wrong way. And then, as a head of religious institution, in my case, now up to now, you see, that happened. But in future, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think maybe better to do things separate. So in any case, we are seriously thinking, you see, to adopt, genuine, democratic system through election. Mm-hmm. So I think the future, will be different.
Why do you feel that it is that the United States does not honor you as a leader of your country, or has not acknowledged you as such?
That is their own policy. To me, it is understandable. They have to consider many other problems. So, of course, this is China, something very important. Sometimes I feel sad. The United States as a champion of freedom and liberty, and their policy should based on moral principle. Then other, smaller nation or weaker nation may get more inspiration. The other side of the world, I think now their conduct, it seems now based on more, moral principle, it seems.
Yeah. I have to say I agree with you. What do you think about the United States negotiations with China? Do you think that we should boycott Chinese goods to encourage the United States government to take a realistic look at the human rights violations in Tibet?
Yes, I do appreciate, those American politicians, congressmen as well as some senators, they express real, some serious concern about the Chinese certain behavior. But then this is up to you. I have no particular thing to say.
Since receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, how has it changed the way that you're received throughout the world? Has it been of great benefit to you?
As it seems more publicity, I think. And then also, in a way, I feel happy, because this Nobel Peace Prize has the international recognition. So I feel, this will promote the value of compassion and non-violence. Sometimes people feel the non-violence is something, passive or some sign of weakness. But I believe actually the non-violence is, I consider, the sign of strength. And also this violence I consider essentially against human nature. So you see, in order to solve human problem, the violence method I consider not suitable. Even you may solve some problem through violence, very often it creates another problem. And also sometimes, even the goal or motivation is something good, then if you use too much violence, then that as a good result itself may spoil. So therefore I feel happy to receive this. And for Tibet, because of this, I think more I'm quite helpful in order to
to make the Tibetan
in order to
situation more clearer, or make more people aware of the Tibetan situation.
Then personally, before receiving this prize, I was just Buddhist monk, and after that also still just simple Buddhist monk.
You have repeatedly said that you are nothing but a simple Buddhist monk, yet you are fraught with immense responsibility. Do you sometimes wish you were not the Dalai Lama? Would it be easier just to be a simple Buddhist monk?
No. When I was small, as a young boy monk, that time sometimes I feel like that. Because at that time, during winter time, the Lhasa climate not very nice during winter time, and usually winter time few months I spend in Potala. So the room where I live, not comfortable. And in such a room, long hours, retreat, some meditation or something. So then I get, I think, some frustration, I think. So then especially, during sunset, this is local, boys and girls, they return from their daily,
after taking the animal to graze, they return back to their homes.
Yes. So when they returning, they singing something. So then sometimes, Dalai Lama, in such a difficult room and lonely prayer, sometimes I very much want to join with these people.
Yes.
But then, of course, since more, grown up, I feel what is the purpose of life? After all, about 100 years, a lifetime. Then during that period, if you utilize your life for benefit of some other human community as well as other sentient being, I think that's the proper way. And also, as a human being, with human intelligence and with human determination. So there is some kind of potential to face problem. So therefore, the problem, or if there is challenge, then you can utilize fully these human potential. If there is no challenge, then you may, waste those human, potential, isn't it?
Yes.
So from that viewpoint, I sometimes feel happy. And there is a problem. Because I can do something. I can serve something. There's opportunity. There's chance. So now I'm thinking is in these lines. So that gives me some satisfaction and gives me inner strength also. That I consider the purpose of life.
In view of how many problems there are in Tibet, you must feel like a very lucky man to have this much opportunity.
Good, yes.
Who are your personal heroes, and who do you recognize as making a great contribution to the world at this time?
Yes, of course. I think the recent event, and of course, Mahatma Gandhi, I always consider a great human being, great man. Then, at the moment, recently I visited South India. There I met one, truly Gandhian, follower. The name Baba Amde. I visited his place, the Anandwan place called. So I very much impressed, his activities and his, I think, vision. And with that vision, he actually completely, committed according his own vision. Now, you see that I think entirely it's a newly built small village. The few thousand, one barren area, transformed some very beautiful and productive human community or small village. And the actual people who are there is handicapped people. And a majority of them leprosy. Actually, I think the people who somehow rejected from their own community, from their own village. Then these people, gathered there, and with his inspiration, and is properly guided and properly, organized. Then even these handicapped people, usually I think these people simply, they completely lost hope. But then there, they got new life and new spirit, and they have, I think, self-confidence. So they're very happy colony, very happy human community. So during I spent there about 2 days, and I myself is mixed with these people, and I feel very, very happy. So such person has a great idea, and idea not only on paper or not only on speech, but day-to-day life, they fully committed and implement. That's something great thing.
The Tibetans in Tibet have never known the government in exile, and a lot of the Tibetans in exile have never known their homeland. When Tibet is free, how do you anticipate the new government will be for the new Tibet? You had mentioned earlier the possibility of a truly democratic society. Is that what your goal is?
Yes. I always believe at the moment those Tibetans who are inside, who are under Chinese control, they have no opportunity to practice genuine democracy. And also, they have, I think, very little sources to know the various different kind of democratic system. So, we have responsibility, to make clear, explanation and draft. Although, I draft one future Tibetan constitution, which in principle based on democratic idea. Now we are thinking, to have new one, more detail and more change, more clear is the democratic principle, or more democratic system. So then, when the situation changed in Tibet, those Tibetans who remain, who suffer under Chinese control, I mean, directly, you see, they have, I think, they have the main responsibility, you see, to carry democratic, democratic practice, or establish democratic government. I'm quite sure they will,
Welcome.
Yes, welcome, and they will do. And we Tibetan refugee community, you see, we will contribute as much as we can.
Upon returning to Tibet, will you remain active in worldwide affairs?
As there is a sense universal responsibility, that will remain there. And I always consider entire human being is same human being. The difference of culture, races, and religion, system, these are secondary, not important. So, till my last breath, I always disposal, available for anyone. So that's my wish. That's my determination. That also is my practice. And then my involvement in future Tibetan government, that I already made clear. I will not participate in any form of leadership in the future government, because you see, that will be good for develop genuine democratic practice, and also I think will be very helpful, you see, to train Tibetan themselves. If I remain there, sometimes you see, it become hindrance for develop, democracy. You know, as a Tibetan, they generally, you see, everyone very much trust me, very much respect me. So if I say something, then sometimes, you see, I feel that, you see, the individual opinions, individual different thought may not come openly. Certainly not due to fear, but you see, just, you see, they too much trust. Whatever I say, you see, they usually, you see, agree. So then, long run, that may become hindrance. Firstly, development of democracy, democratic idea, and also, if I remain as something like third person, or just this ordinary, popular, simple Buddhist monk, I think I always available. Whenever you see some problems happen there. You understand?
Yes.
I mean, you see, some certain kind of problem between, you see, Tibetan government and certain, you see, area or certain
then
people.
they could use you as a
Yes,
third
then, if I am not in the government, just, you see, something like, you see, neutral or something, third person, private citizen, then I think I can help more in that way. So therefore, I already made clear, or I already, made up my mind, I will not participate in any form of, you see, political leadership. And also in a spiritual, I don't like any form of, you see, status or, position. I really want to be a simple Buddhist monk.
Yes. How do you think, though, that your people will respond to this? They have for so many years, and especially with all of their troubles, looked up to you as their leader. Do you think that they'll feel, how could they possibly instill that kind of trust in another person?
Yes, already, you see, there are some signs. You see, when this idea, you see, this idea came to know by Tibetan, then, you see, sometimes they feel some uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think this is the only way. And in any case, you see, now I'm already, you see, 55. So I think, you see, next, say, you see, another 20 years will be the active life. Then after that, another 10 years or 20 years. And then half that already. Isn't it? Too old. So you see, during next 20 years, I think you see Tibetan as a nation, I think they must have all sort of this, all the preparation, or all, how to say, the maturity, what to call, mature.
With the changes in Europe and the Eastern Bloc, the world is gaining momentum in dealing with the human rights issues. Therefore, in terms of implementing the 5-point peace plan, what do you think is a realistic frame of time for you to achieve this?
Yes, of course, certainly. These last years, this change in Eastern European countries, I think it's a much hopeful sign. Then definitely it will great impact on Chinese mind. And Chinese is intellectual, I think there are the minds of Chinese intellectual as well as the young Chinese student. So, as I always remain as optimistic. Then since these positive change, I become even more, optimistic. So I think now is the next, 5 to 10 years, I think there will be big change in China. I think more democratic, more freedom. More democracy, more freedom. I think will happen. Then there is real room, to discuss about our problem. Then there is real possibility of solving or finding a solution through mutual understanding, mutual respect.
As a citizen on the planet, what human quality is most important to develop at this time to achieve global unity?
Compassion. And on that basis, the sense of brotherhood, sisterhood. Here, compassion means not only is a feeling of sympathy or pity, not that one. Compassion, I think proper compassion means the very strong, closeness feeling, and with that, some kind of sense of duty, sense of responsibility. I believe, when human being born, we are free from any religion, any ideology, but we are not free from human affection. So therefore, the compassion and love is something I feel the part of human being itself. Although the anger and all these negative thoughts also is a part of human being, but I consider the major portion of human part, I think, as based on compassion and affection. This I feel.
Thank you so much for your time.
Good, thank you.
This interview was conducted by Rhonda Kennedy on March 11, 1990, at the home of the Dalai Lama in Dharamasala, India. It was produced by Linda Shirley at the studios of KBOO Community Radio in Portland, Oregon.